Welcome guys. GSTR 2A reconciliation. It's the most difficult and time consuming reconciliation currently in GST. Professionals need to spend hours and hours on reconciling the data again and again. Many persons are not that good with Excel or many softwares are not giving complete and correct reports. You must be facing such issues. Let us know in the comment below what's the problem or issues you are facing with GSTR 2A reconciliation. We would love to help you solve it. Today we are going to share with you one template, or you can say it as utility that will reduce your work. Hours or days of work will be reduced to just minutes. Stay tuned for the video. Before we move further, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video. Do you see that share button? You can share this video with your friends and family and you can help them to save the time and learn Excel as well. So let's get started. Major problems faced by professionals while reconciling GSTR 2A with ITC claimed are invoice mismatch, date mismatch, party or vendor has not uploaded the invoice, or maybe we have not entered that invoices, or maybe amount is wrong or something like that. Out of this we can ignore invoice mismatch, we can also ignore date mismatch if it is in the same month, but others we need to know why such errors are arising and also need to rectify the same. Keeping this in mind, we'll start entering data into our template. Make sure before you proceed further, you have downloaded the 2A from the GSTN portal in Excel and ITC data from your books. Once you have the GST data, better you remove these blank lines and the bold lines which is not required. So first of all, filter that data and remove these lines. So you can just press Ctrl Shift and you can delete all the data. So after this, you have your GSTR 2A that is downloaded. You can further filter out the N. You can just filter it out and send it to the party. Once you have removed all that non-required data from your GSTR 2A, we'll need to make sure following fields are available in your data, in your books data as well. So we'll start with GSTN, party name, bill number, date, books, IGST, books, CGST, books, SGST, 2A IGST, 2A CGST, and 2A SGST. To avoid any confusion, we have not taken taxable value and total value field in our template. Further, make sure there is no blank data in GSTN, party name, bill number, or date columns. Also, make sure you do not change the sheet name or the edit sheet worksheets except data entry fields. So you just have to enter your data here. We have given around 15,000 line items. You can enter that data over here. Above that, it will not work perfectly. For books ITC from Tally or any other software, export it to Excel and paste it directly into raw data worksheet. It's here. I have selected that portion. If you are using Tally, I'll just give you one suggestion. Keep in mind 2 points before starting the data or importing the data. First point, make sure you export it from the ledger, not from GSTR2 report. Because if in Ledger Master you have not activated GST as applicable, it will not show you in the GSTR2 report. So take columnar report and export it. Second point will be, do not include date in bill number field while you export. If it is exported with date field, remove those dates. If you don't know how to remove it, let us know. We'll help you how to do that. You can see it here. I have entered the books data here. I have yet not entered my 2A data. So now once I have entered this data, you can see I have entered GST and party name, bill number, date, books IGST, CGST and SGST. Now I need to enter my data from 2A. But there is one trick how you can enter this data. You don't have to enter the IGST, CGST in these three columns. These three columns will now be blank. You need to enter your IGST, CGST and SGST data over here. Now you can see it over here that I have also entered the GSTR2A data, but I have taken that my GSTR2A, IGST, CGST and SGST will be in this field, not in this field. So when you are entering the data, make sure you first enter your tally or books data and then you enter your GSTR2A data. Whenever you open this file, it will give you one pop-up. So it will give you pop-up about all the steps you need to follow to perform the GSTR to a reconciliation. So these are the steps and these are the menu or user input that to be done. So if here it is written as menu, then you can see it here. We have menu part for that. So if you want to clear all data, you can just delete here, click here and your old data will be deleted. So next steps are you can need to enter the tally or books data first and then you enter GSTR to A data as we have shown you here. So now we'll move to the next step. We do not have any old data here, so we'll not be doing any delete data right now. Now we'll move to the next step, that is threshold. Here you need to define the threshold limit. What threshold means is up to this amount any error or any problems or any mismatch will be ignored. It can be positive difference or negative difference. Our report will ignore any difference between this threshold. I can just type it over here that I want to ignore any difference below 10. So I can just type here and press save. Once it is done, next will be we'll need to process our data. So once you click here, it will give you one pop-up. Depending on the data, it will take time. It may be few minutes or it may be few seconds. So do not worry, just press OK and wait for the next pop-up. Once the process is completed, you will get this pop-up. So now just press OK and you can just click on the compare and again wait. Now you can see that your report would have come in final check worksheet. Now you just have to focus on these records. These are the records which is showing some error or some issues. You must be also amazed what happened in the background and what's the process. So we'll show you what's the process taken in the background. First, let's understand what happens here. Once this pop-up comes, so it gives you one warning that do not proceed if the records are not within limit. Once you click OK, it will give you all the records entered. So here we have the maximum 15,000 limit, but we have entered 2898 and like that. At the vendor level, we have compared maximum 5,000 records can be compared, but we have compared only 232. At invoice level, we can compare 10,000, but we have compared only 798 in the background. And on the date level, instead of 2000 maximum limit, we have compared only 184. So all the records are within the limit. So now just press OK. And in the final check, you can see we can compare maximum 1500 records at once. But you have only 562 records here to compare. So you can see that your final check worksheet is here. How you can focus on these records, you can just go to this drop down in the L column and select the remarks here. So if it may be some missed by vendor or it may be missed by us, it may be missed by here vendor, or you can just go to the records one by one and select your status here. So before we move to the final report, let me explain to you what's the logic applied over here and how the report is drawn here. So what happened from raw data to final check? What's the process in the background carried out and how we have came to the final check report? So I'm going to share with you some logic how we have carried out this comparison. And if you have some problem with this logic, I happily say that you don't use this template. So it may have some problem for you guys. So better don't use this template. What logic we have applied while comparing the data? Now we have three components over here. So first is GSTN, second is our bill number, and third is the date. So first in the background we check that if our tax balance as per 2A and as per books for any one vendor is matching or within or the difference is within our threshold limit what we have applied over here, we have applied, you can see that we have applied around 10. So if it is that if the difference is within that threshold limit, then we have ignored that difference and marked all those parties as matched. Not only one transaction, if that party has 500 transactions or 600 transactions. If my total is matching with the vendor balances, vendor tax balances, then I have marked it as matched. We assume that no need to check those records if total amounts are matched on the vendor level. Now next what we have checked at the invoice level. we have compared those invoices with same GSTN with the same bill number. If that is matching again within our threshold, then the same is marked as matched. So what we compared in this level is that we have ignored the date. So I have entered one entry on number 113 on 24th June, but that party has uploaded it on 22nd June or maybe on any other date. So we have ignored the date. So what we have applied that with GSTN and if with bill number, if the amounts are matching, then we have matched that transaction. So this was the second level. Now on the last level is that at the date level, components over here, GSTN, bill number and date. So we have first compared the first component, then we have compared the first component, the second component, and now we will compare the first component and the third component. So what we did here over here, if GSTN and same date are matched. Okay, so I have purchased something from this party on 24th June, and this total is matching for on this part date, ignoring my invoice number. So it will be marked as matched. So he or she may have entered 113 or 13 or 13A or whatever it may be. But if it is in the same GSTN and on the same date, then it will match. This last process will save much time for the tally users, where many times vendor bills are not correctly shown or not entered. If you are entering into the journal entry or in the expense ledgers, it will not give you the correct bill number. So you can just ignore that bill number over here, and if you have entered the correct date, so your report will match. So your transaction will be matched. Now comes with the final level check. This represents the final data that needs to be checked. You can review the data and enter your remarks. I have entered all the remarks in in here. You can review the data and enter your remarks from the drop down provided. So at a one time you can process maximum 15,000 records. Once you have completed the remarks in all fields, click on the final report. This will give you final report with all the remarks just like magic, isn't it? Make sure you check once to avoid any errors and then share as you like. So it will contain all the missed by us, missed by vendor, mismatched by amounts and everything. Yes, that's it. That's over. Nothing else to do. It just took few minutes and your reconciliation is done. You can download this file from the given link below. It will not be a free download. A small amount will be required to pay to save your hours or days. Go to the link if you want to download the file. So thank you guys. Thank you. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching.